surplus. We can cover that through our normal budget reserves. We don't need to have people paying property taxes this year on that specific line item, so we would roll that back to zero. We'd also roll back some of the local lines and issue a rebate, and so that's how you end up getting to the $1,000 per resident or homesteaded property. And look, I mean, I know we have people that have investment properties. I'd rather focus it on the homesteaded Floridians and the Florida residents. So that's where it'll be, and that's how you get to a number that's pretty significant. If you were to do this rollback with the normal range where you dedicate $250 million or whatever, $300 million, it would be very, very modest. I don't know that it would pack much of a punch, but if you're going to go up to $5 billion, you have a chance to really pack a punch. And so for middle class, $1,000 tax rebate, that's a substantial portion of their property taxes. I know some of the wealthier folks that may not be quite as much, but focusing on the middle class folks, this is going to be a really, really big deal. And again, we think it'll be likely about $1,000 per homesteaded property. Now, I think most you guys and the realtors know better than ever how this process works and the notices and all that. So this would be something that we would see percolate throughout the year and end up with end of the year trim notices. But I think it's something that would be really, really meaningful. And if it's passed into law now, people would know that this is coming down the pike very, very soon. But anything that we're rolling back, we do have the funding to be able to backfill. So don't anyone say, oh, they're taken from schools. No, we'll fund that. We have a big surplus. We've quadrupled the rainy day fund since I've been governor just over the last 6 years. We've paid off 41% of our state's debt since I've been governor. We're in good shape, and we'll be able to make it work, and we want to use that. Now, ultimately, as I said, this is just the opening salvo. We want to have a constitutional amendment on property taxes, and that's going to require a lot of effort. It's going to require us to do the DOJ through the balance of this year so that the voters see that this can actually be done and that they have an ability to both shrink their own budgets but also shift tax burdens to our tourists and our non-Floridians. And I can tell you, it's like people say, oh, people aren't going to come to Florida for this reason, this reason, this reason. It's like, they said the Canadians weren't going to come. And I'm with my kids, we were down in spring break, and we're at Legoland. And all these people coming up to me for pictures, which is fine. I normally do that. And I'd say like 80% of them were Canadians. And I'm like, I thought you guys weren't coming to Florida anymore. Oh no, we love Florida. No, so we're going to continue to be a destination, and we are excited about doing that. Now, we are a low tax state. We have the second lowest per capita state taxes in the entire country. Of course, we have no income tax, and even though we rely on sales tax, our sales tax is basically middle of the pack. California, they have this really stiff income tax, but they also have the highest sales tax. They have an 8% sales tax statewide. It's higher in a lot of localities. So we've done a good job on that, and the property taxes are basically local, but we rank middle of the pack on property tax rates throughout the country. I don't think that's good enough. I think we have an opportunity, particularly given that we draw a lot of people, to really, really make an impact on property taxes. Man, I'll tell you, first of all, the realtors, I mean, you would boom like never before. I mean, are you kidding me? This would be really good. But part of what's happened right now, we're not seeing the same amount of sales, partially because of interest rates, but partially because of the property taxes. Who wants to move from Tampa to Jacksonville if you're going to end up with a house that's going to have a much higher tax basis, and then you're going to have to fork over all this? So people are locked into lower interest rates, lower property tax. It still goes up with homestead, but not as much as it would. And that's really, I think, inhibited the market. I think you would see the market respond very positively to this. So that's the main event. That's what we're going to be looking to do in November of 2026. And look, when you're in a position to be able to make a difference, listen to folks. What are the concerns? What would make it easier? There's certain things that if I could snap my finger, I would do. We don't have control over everything as state government. I mean, there's a lot that goes on. We have a national economy. We have national policy. We have all this other stuff. But the one thing that we as Floridians, through the political process, can control is the tax. We can control that. we can go to the amendment, and we can do property taxes that way. We can cut taxes on other taxes in Tallahassee. There's things you can do. We're in total control of that. That's not market-based. It's not because of what's going on in Washington. It's not because of what's going on in the private sector. We control that. And so if people need relief, we're in good fiscal shape. We have the ability to provide relief. We have a responsibility to get it done. So,
we're listening in there live to